Everybody's Kathleen from Crafting Time. Hope everyone is doing well. We are going to iron this, and let's see, I want to just make sure everything is up and going. There we go. Hello, hello. We're going to iron, instead of using the napkin, we're going to use this. Yesterday we made our tin like so, like right here, and we plastered it with spackling, and I sanded it, just normal sanding. I didn't think anybody had to see normal sanding, and then I thought, well, maybe I had to paint it, and so I just painted this end, and I didn't see any difference, so we're going to just skip that whole part. And I'm going to set this down for the moment and turn this back on. And we're going to iron this. I hope. Might have to use a piece of foil. Or not foil, sorry, that's not the word I wanted. It's been that kind of a day. I'm going to use a piece of paper, just so I can slide it simply. There we go. See how much easier it is to just go like so. Slide that underneath me. I don't know, I think it'd just be easier to without the paper, so I can see where it's wrinkled. And then we're going to just Mod Podge this fabric on, guys. Just a second. My fabric and I are having issues. Just a moment. And the cord's on the wrong side. Hello, hello. So, just ironing it a little bit smoother. Mod Podge will make it smooth. I'm using no water, just heat. I'm gonna have to sand my board again. It's very I call it edgy. All right. There we go. I'm not sure how much we're going to need, but might as well just do it to the end, right? We only have a couple feet left. Say hello once you're here. I appreciate it. I was going to use a napkin, but I called Sheila and I said, you know, I have this fabric and it has poinsettias, and I think it's a little prettier than a napkin. Or that particular napkin. And I sent her a picture of it and she loved it. So that's why we're using this instead of her napkins she sent me. There we go. Alright, so that's done. So that, ooh, that makes me so hot. All right. And I just use a board. That's all I use, guys, for my ironing of materials for crafting. Doesn't need to be anything over fancy or anything like that. And we're just going to use regular Mod Podge. I'm hoping I had my other one. Well, that's my sparkle. Well, I guess I have to use the gloss. It doesn't matter. it will all come out beautifully. So I took and I sanded off as much of the roughness as I can get. But as you can see, it's still a little bit ribbed. But our fabric should cover anything that's imperfected now. It is smooth, but it has some divots. And maybe it was my fingerprint or whatever, but it is solid. Okay? And I'm just going to wipe off my I have a certain brush I like to use for my Mod Podge. Trying to think. Just washing it off, making sure it's all clear, which it seems to be. And dry. So you just take your Dollar Tree sander or whatever you like to use, and you just sand it. And that's all I did. And I sanded it to be smooth. This is the only area that I see that is probably not smooth. So I can show you this area right here. It's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Oh, I didn't turn my third light on. Sorry. So let me just show you. I just took my sander. Now this is dry. This is completely dry. And I just followed it. And I just sanded it off like so. Now here's a little, it's even, it's smooth, but it has, looks like a ripple there. So I'm going to see if I can just, and you see how hard I'm pushing? So you're able to do this without a whole lot of situations. Now I was going to use a napkin, but gosh guys, this fabric was so pretty compared to what this napkin was that she had sent me. This is what it looked like. And I thought, oh, that's not very, I didn't like it. So I called her. And Sheila said I could use my fabric if I wanted to. At my own expense, of course. Which it usually is. So we're going to Mod Podge this on and trim it off. Now we might have to use a little hot glue. And then we're going to also use some bling to go around the top. Maybe around the bottom and things like that. Hello, Debbie. How are you? I am doing very well, thank you. I had a Santa Claus come today, guys. He, whoops, kind of got myself really dirty. This gentleman from the church that's across the street, I've never been in that church, came over and brought us about $60 worth of presents, roughly. Maybe more. I was so surprised. I was like, wow, how sweet. Now I want to make sure I have the right side out, because that always helps. But see, this is so much prettier than a napkin. You can see the poinsettias. So I'm hoping she really likes this. Then I found out she wasn't going to be using it until January, which I thought was very interesting. They're having their Christmas in January. Their family is out of town on missions. And I thought that was super cool. So she said, however long it takes, as long as she has it by New Year's. Oh, wow. Well, yeah, we can do that. So I'm just Mod Podging this It's not going to affect my spackling at all. Just like so. No big deal. Now I'm going to put the seam on the side, because you know, seams in the middle never look good. And this has sparkle on it. I'm going to bring this right to the rim. And you're going to pull it straight. Might even slide it off a little bit. I just did. That's why I said you might do that. Don't that look pretty? Much prettier. I'm going to trim off the bottom as well. Put this back underneath that rim. So I'm going to pull that just down a little bit. There was a cool gift I got, guys. We got a blanket, a bag of, or a big container of peppermint popcorn. Never had that before. Hi, Brooklyn. And then we had, now I'm just kind of like rubbing this on, making sure it's nice and even. Now this side is not on quite. Gotta lower it down a little bit. I'm gonna Mod Podge that corner in. Now I'm not using the napkin because I just didn't think it was very pretty. For what I think she's using this for. She said she was using it for cards. She even talked about using it for some plants. Now I might just pull that up and cut that, because of the way the tin works. So I got the top flat. Now we're going to do the, oops, excuse me, that's a little loud. We're going to trim it off, but not yet. And this is regular. This is glossy Mod Podge. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to do the whole thing. A little heavier in the middle because that's where a lot of people hold. Just like so. Now my spackling hasn't mudged or smudged or anything like that. But it did take the whole day to dry. Sparkle side out, and I'm just following this around, especially at the rim. Now at the bottom I might have to do some additional tucking, especially on the sides. No big deal. Making sure it stays at the top. And with the Mod Podge being a little bit thick underneath, it gives me a chance to spread it. And about right here is where we're going to trim it off. Hold on. a little longer than I anticipated. Now I can use that for a different can. I made another can up with the leftover spackling I had yesterday, just to see if I was going to use one. Now this one, we're going to pleat it here after we cut it. And same thing over on this side. We will be pulling that back and making a little seam and plaiting it up. So now let's trim this. It's nice and snug except for the ends. And I'm cutting it right at the rim. See how nice that's going to look? Oh, I think it's going to be beautiful for her. I'm just laying it down here and I'm coming up this way. Sweet. Oh, that looks so nice now, doesn't that? Doesn't that? It's not even ready. Duck. So now we want to make this seam. Let's see if I can do it this way. It's already sealed. So I'm going to have a little bit of a seam here. We're just going to make a seam. Since we're having a seam on the other side, and this is kind of puckered, we're just going to make a seam. So we're going to fold that like so. I'm going to stick my brush in there. You see what I did? I just stuck my brush inside, so I got Mod Podge on the inside. Up here is already Mod Podged, but we're just going to kind of like pinch. Just pinch it. And then seam it over. So it looks like so. You can still see the poinsettia. And I'm just pressing that down, especially at the bottom. Not so much worried about the top. We're gonna just Mod Podge that down. A little bubble there. Like so. It's very nicely seamed. Now that isn't even the seam, it's a fake seam. Now on the back here, we're going to kind of do the same thing. Now these two are not attached like this side is. And I might stick a little hot glue in there just to hold that little seam, just to make it look like a seam. And I'm going to, let's see if I could cross that over. This one comes up, so maybe that should go underneath. Yeah. So this is going to be seamed across. And if your spackling decides to become too wet, means it wasn't dry to begin with. Let me just tip it down because I think you guys are like in the air. Now I'm going to let that just go right up so I don't have any bubbles. We'll trim this part off. Plaster that down. Now let's trim this. Just like so. Now we're gonna put glitter on it. Now I got a little bump here, so I'm gonna try to pull that out. Now this one's gonna come across and cover up that little hole. And same thing here on the bottom. And see, you can't even tell. Kind of like blends all together. And then we'll be cutting off this little bit, there's a little bit of a lip here. But to make the curve on the other end, we had to pleat it. Now you can't even tell where it is, hardly. You can see where my glue is right now, but once that dries, you're not going to see it. But I am going to go, I'm going to fold it. We're going to give it a seam here, just like the other side. Just a bit. But you wouldn't have to. I'm just doing it because I want it kind of to match what we did on this side. But you wouldn't have to. So I'm opening up that little seam. Slugging in a little bit of glue. I'm folding it over like you do a present. Taking some Mod Podge and laying it down. You gotta make sure that one seam is covering the other seam. And then pressing it all down. Don't want no wrinkles, of course. Oops, stuck to me just fine. And now, remember that little lip I was telling you about? We'll cut that off. Look how nice that looks. So much prettier than that funny napkin. And we're going to Mod Podge this all down. But first we're going to hot glue anything that might be sticking up. And just the very, very edge down here. And then we're going to do some blinging, because that's always pretty. I'm just going to use good old silver bling. I think I have one open. I thought I did. Oh, maybe not. Nope. We're going to open one. Gracious. Have to get tough, I guess. And I think just a single layer around that edge would look super cool. And then again on the bottom. So probably we'll need 3 or 4. Don't usually use the first row because it's always goofy looking. And let's cover up this Mod Podge because we're going to use sparkle next. I almost dumped it. It's very pretty, thank you. Let's see, this one or that one? We're going to use double sparkle. We're going to sparkle it. It has some sparkle in it already, but just not enough. So this is where we're going to add a little hot glue here to end that and match it with this end here. It has to stay down and dry real quick. We'll see what's faster, my hot glue or my Mod Podge. So we're going to cut probably 4 of these off while we're waiting for that. Now this is a 2-day project just because of the drying time, guys. I'm giving her another one and I'm going to put a tree in it. I know she's not on tonight, so she'll catch it on the replay. But I'm going to do 2 of them. The other one doesn't have, it's more of a whitewash on it with spackling. Because I didn't want to use all my spackling. I need it for another project coming up. And I don't do spackling every day, so I'm not buying the large containers anymore like I used to do. Come on, cut. There we go. There's 4. Might need another one. So that looks like it's just starting. So I'm just going to lift this up right here, and we're just going to smaggle in. See, my hot glue is not even ready. There it goes. And that side had the green or the black. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. This one's not going to need as much, just a little bit. It has my black hot glue. I'm just wiping it off with my finger. Shouldn't need a lot of hot glue. So that's nice and snug. That is as tight as I can get it. You can't feel any of the divots around it. You don't see them. Nothing. It's so perfect. I don't think I could have done it any better. Now I'm just taking Mod Podge and going on the edge. I'm going to snip off anything that we're not going to need. Those little extra hairs. Got that open. Just a sec, I got Mod Podge all over my fingers. Just a minute. And hot glue. Quite the combination. Very nice. You do a good job. Thank you, Sharon. And welcome to crafting time. All right, now just set. Okay. Now, as you know, on the bottom of a lot of containers, you'll get a little bit of a lift right here. You see it? You always will have that. I just very carefully, now I have black and white in here, not purposely, but that's what happened. And I'm just gonna go in and just squirt, nothing over major here, very lightly. Just know you're gonna burn yourself. It's almost a guarantee. Now this side is nice and snug. Sorry. But now I sealed it. See, it's all nice and sealed around the bottom. You can't see no lips, no lifting. Oh, there's a spot right there. I just saw it when I looked there. I was looking for it. And you usually have them on the curves. Even though I know it's flat, there's no, came out. I couldn't ask for a better job there, actually. All right, so now we're gonna take this sparkle Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna go around the edge. I'm just gonna like seal off the edge of the fabric. Now we were going to use napkins, but I thought this was much prettier than a napkin any day. Just sealing off the very edge of it. We're going to sparkle this in just a bit, but I don't want the strings to be tied up in the decorating. Sometimes just snipping them off helps. Then take your finger and wipe off the inside of your ridge. You don't want anything to show. Now I have a little bit of spackling in here. I didn't see that from yesterday. So I'm gonna just try to scrape it. Oh good, I can scrape some of it. I should have looked before I started. There's not much in there, guys. It was just a tiny bit, but it was enough to bug me. Good enough. All right, let's sparkle it with the sparkle. What's this one's called? Mod Podge Sparkle. It's not as sparkly as the other one, but it's this one here. The purplish pink is what I use today. My favorite is the one that, where did it go? There it is. My favorite is the Mega Glitter. That is my favorite, but I have just a little bit left. I need that for totally another project. I got hot glue on my finger. There we go. And again, we're just gonna go over it nicely. Now we're just putting a top coat of glitter. Now some people like to do it just on the flowers, but I actually just do the whole thing because I want it. And I do a thin coat and I spread it out. I just don't do one direction. I do up and down and sideways. And I'm pretty tough on it. Really making that sparkle move over. See? Now it's going to dry sparkly, but it's not going to be like all in one spot. Now that was just one brush full, guys. That's all. This is without. We'll dry that in just a moment. So I dunk it in, and this is going to do the whole thing. And that's all I use. I really work it. And I'm going back and forth, up and down, really there are noises below me. I don't see anything. Oh, so sorry. Jeez, I wasn't even ready for that. I'm such a real groom. A real crafter. I drop things, I make a mess. Just making sure I have nothing inside. So that's pretty well sparkled. And again, it's just 2 brushfuls of Mega Sparkle. It's 90% dry. But we're going to dry it anyway. And by doing that, friends, it makes the sparkle go all over, of course, but it spreads it. It's not all in one clump. So it looks more natural, more like what the fabric itself looks like. The fabric did have just a little bit of sparkle, but nothing as pretty as this. Gosh, I hope they like this. I love it. I'll have to write a note to her if she doesn't like it. She can send it back to me and I'll love it. No, I can't do that. That wouldn't be right. Alright, so now we're just going to take our glitter sticks, or not sticks, sorry, this stuff that we cut off, this, what's it called? Sticker stuff that I use hot glue for. I'm hoping I have just clear glue now instead of white or black. Oh, not like that. And let me just take out my black. I had just a little bit left in my hot glue device. So I'm just, there we go. Now it's coming clear. Alright, so again, so we're going to go this way across the bottom. Of course, you're not going to go too far, friends, just a little bit at a time. I know it's a sticker, but gosh, guys, I don't trust these stickers. They don't stick for me whatsoever, so I hot glue them. Get it right down to the end. Can. Looks really nice right down at the bottom, just finishing off that end. I'll turn it towards you as I go so you can see results. I do leave the sticker part on it though, guys. I take off the paper, of course, but I do it right at the rim, take the sticker paper off, don't go too far out. Do it right at the rim, match it up perfectly. I guess I gotta do it this way. I can see it better. It's pretty. Thank you, Becky. It is pretty. I hope she doesn't want it. No, I can't say that. I'll do the same thing at the top as well. Getting it right down to the bottom. And that spackling, friends, gives it a little extra fullness. I covered up all the wording that was high-rised. That's why the spackling was so important yesterday. Well, I almost made it around. I need a little piece. Let's just use this piece. Making sure it stays at the end. Where did my paper go? Leave that there. Not going to need this whole part. This is very, very pretty. Likes to burn my fingers. Oh, too long. More hot glue on my fingers. It's so close to the bottom. I'm just checking, trying to push anything that's, this side's still hot. Why? It's tin, you know, so it's going to be, take off all your little hot glues, but look how nice that turned out on the bottom. And it's just giving it that little finished edge, taking off your hot glue. Like because I have more hot glue on my hands than I do anywhere. Now I'm checking the top here, making sure I can see my rim pretty much all around. And we're going to do the top. I'm going to turn it towards me just so I can start. Hardest part of this has been the paper with the glue. Hi Wayne, how are ya? Alright, so I'm starting on the end and I'm just following my rim. Now remember, we covered up the rim, so we're actually making our own rim. And sliding it right onto that rim of the metal there, right to the rim, if you can get it there. This is really pretty. And I'm going to do it right at the rim, guys. Not below it, not below down where the, let's see, show you on this side. Where the fabric is here, you can see that little line. I'm going above that. I'm on the rim. At least I hope I am. It's supposed to be. And the tin gets hot, so you have just that little bit of extra time to adjust if you need to. I need to all the time. But it's super pretty. Okay, now I'm going around the edge and again staying right on the rim. Try not to go too far out. It just makes it easier to keep your item. See how nice that looks? Just that little extra bling and finishes off your project. I'm going to need 3 of these. I didn't think I had that much Mod Podge on my hands, but I got a lot. So I need one more. One full one. So 2 1/4 on the bottom and 3, almost 3 on the top. Oh, I didn't take the paper off. Wait a second. That would have been a problem. Thanks for sprinkling me out, Trisha Ann. My friends, we are growing at a rapid pace, and it's just because everyone is starting to sprinkle me out. And someone told me my prices are the right prices. That kind of made me feel good the other day. I'm not over expensive. I don't try to be over expensive. Don't know what that was. So that was pretty exciting. Facebook is happy with my reels. Of course, I don't use music on my reels usually. Oops, sorry, that's a little loud. I did on the, what was that? On the mini houses that we made, the mini tag houses. I did on that. I don't think I put hot glue there, but it's stuck. So maybe I did. All right, put that over here. Now I'm going to take my heat device and I'm going around the edges, and it's going to melt this down, any of the little hot glues, any of my hot glues that are sticking up. As you can see, there's a few here. I got something there, I don't know what that is. And I'll show you how I do that. There goes mouth hot. And I just melt it off. This gives it that fresh, clean look. Now let me shut this off so you can hopefully see what I'm talking about. Just making sure it's okay. So this side is nice and smooth from taking my heat device and going over it and taking off all the edges. Now this side, you can kind of see that I'm high-rised here. That's glue. That's all glue that's popped up. Same over here and same over here. So I take my heat device, I melt it down into my craft, not into my tray. So let's finish this side. Making sure it gets smooth. And I'm literally rubbing it on the edge and melting it off. Making sure it doesn't go on the inside. Now, of course, I have to wash the inside and stuff. Checking it. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom, because you don't want it ripping up anything on the did you do that? Now remember, your tin gets hot, so you don't want to burn yourself. Kind of locking that in. Nice and smooth bottom. Nice and smooth top. Super cute. I really like it. That came out super nice. Look how pretty that is. Now it's not over blinged. It has the glitter on, as you can see. It has the bling up here finishing your edge, but it's not gaudy. And it doesn't look like a napkin. This, I'll just put it on, give you an idea what a napkin would look like. This is what she would have had, and I just don't think that's very pretty for something that could be as beautiful as this. I'm sure she's gonna love it and she won't give it back. It's her craft anyway. She just wanted me to make it for her. And lots of people do that, guys. Some of my crafts that I make that I don't sell are things that people have sent me to make. And then I tell them, well, if I'm going to make it for you, I'm going to do it online and you get to see it. So this is hers. Now I want to grab my other one here. Just going to set that there. And hold on. I had a little bit of plaster left that I had mixed. So I took a tin can and I redid this can. It's just a pot. I'm not even sure where it came from. It's been sitting on my shelf for about a year. Still has its tag on, so. But I didn't have enough to go underneath, but I think we're going to do the same thing. Now this is just a whitewash. I took the little bit of spackling that I had out, mixed it in with water, and I went right over this. Now I've only sanded a little bit of it. I'm just going to sand off this one area here. It feels a little damp, but we're going to kind of do the same thing. Well, I know we're doing the same thing. It's just a different shape. So I'm taking the plaster off of the rim. This has a little bit of a different, it's a different tin. Like so, and I'm going to do the same thing on the front or top. This one's going to have a a silver top rim. I'm going to give her this one as well, and I'm going to stick a Christmas tree in it. I think I have a couple little extra trees here. She's not on here, so she's not going to know till tomorrow. Well, maybe later tonight. Okay, so now I can see my entire rim. And like I said, this one's doesn't have as much spackling as this one. This one is fully spackled for the whole rim. This one is not. So we're going to be inside of the, I just made a nice mess of the rim. Now let's see. Wonder if this will just perfectly work. Let's see. Now this one we might have to pleat because it's more, and that's going to go right under the rim. Well, look at that. I think we're going to have it work. It might just go on without a whole lot of problem. Okay, this is just a regular Mod Podge gloss. It's only because that's what's on my table. And we're going to just Mod Podge it on. I'll have to fix that mess. She doesn't know she's getting this this part of it. She knows she's getting that because that's what she paid me for. But I thought maybe she would like a gift. She's a real close friend of mine. And a very good customer. I'm just getting this prepped. I might have to add more Mod Podge as I go around, but we're prepping it. And whatever I touch has a little red spot right there. Okay. Find the sparkle side. Sparkle side is the side that is your correct side. Find the seam and stay with the seam. Move it right up. Of course, we're going to have to trim the bottom. Might have to pleat the bottom. We'll see. But if you see me make a craft and you don't see it come back on the shelf for purchase, that means someone probably sent it to me to make for them. Somebody asked me that the other day. And that's usually what happens. And that worked out like so nice. Goodness. Pressing myself tonight. Of course, now this is the seam, so I'm going to leave enough to hang over. I didn't press that down too hard. And we're going to make an actual seam, so cut straight, Kathleen. And then we're going to do it just like a present. We're going to fold this over, and I'm going to add some Mod Podge here. That's going to be like my tape. Oh, goodness. That's probably Sheila saying, oh, you're making me some. Ah. I'm going to just try to get that to stick. It's looking nice. Have a little ripple right there. Now, just like the other one, I'm going to have to cut this off because it's an angle, but I only have this much of an angle. Try and get my seam straight. Set. Let's give it a little help. I won't be able to move it once it's laid, so hopefully I do it right. And then we're going to trim the bottom. Well, we probably should take the tag off, Kathleen. Not right now, we're not. It wants to stay. Dad's going to watch the replay. Awesome. Super cute. This will go very nice with hers. It's going to be identical, just different style can. It'll be mailed out Saturday morning. Put it on my shirt, I can hold it. Remember, we'll have to probably tack in the bottom. We already kind of know that. Super cool. And then let's cut this part off. We're not going to need that. Have a little bit just going to pleat that. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal there. Like so. Now let's make the top or the bottom we're gonna take our Mod Podge, stick it in, paper towel. Nice cut. I'm gonna have to find my sharpeners. Good bath. You know, guys, that's something we haven't done for a long time is wash our scissors. You know you can wash your scissors, right? You know that. A lot of times your scissors aren't dull, they're dirty. I decided to cover up the whole bottom since the line is going to go perfectly, so now I'm just finishing off that edge. Long one right there. Looking nice. Don't that look nice? Beautiful, eh? Now we're going to sparkle it. This one is like shedding. Shedding up a storm on me. Well, this one seems to have a ripple in it. And it might be because the plaster isn't it's not sticking out. Oh, we're going to sparkle it. I think the bottom looks long. And again, we're just going to brush one direction, and then we'll go back the other direction. I try to do a half a can with what I use, and then up and down, of course. Really working it into the fabric. And then the other side, and really that's all I do. Really moving that glitter around, up and down. Giving it that little extra Christmas sparkle. Making sure I got that. Got an air bubble. Where did you come from? Let's see if I can work that out. I have an air bubble there, guys. Didn't see that earlier. Whoops. It might be a permanent thing. Trying to fold it with my not that a permanent situation. I can't change. Let me pull it. No. Now I gotta add. Well, that helped a little bit. It's not as big. Okay. I don't mind having pleats at the bottom, but not at the top. So we're going to add in the little glue at the bottom here. I don't think any glue came out. There we go. There's a little air bubble here. Again, I'm just pushing it right to the end. Better. I stuck my thumb right here, guys, and it all the sparkle came off, so we gotta fix that. We'll see. All right, now let's recut this. So curious, when's the last time you washed your scissors? think tomorrow I'm going to show you guys how to do that, because my scissors really need a good old-fashioned bath. A little stick up here. Ooh, got hot under there. Sweet. Now she's going to have two beautiful dishes that she'll be able to use for whatever she wants. I'm going to stick a tree in here, but she'll be able to remove it. It's been a while for you, Deb? Yep. See, I was a dog groomer, guys, and I had to wash my scissors like once a week because of all the dog hair and the dog. These are dog scissors. They're Barber dog scissors. Actually, most of my scissors I use are dog scissors. Because I have 1,000 now. I have a lot of these. But anyway, with all the hair that gets in there, the dirt, the goop of the body itself, the body dust, goop from the eyes and ears and all those kind of things, really clogged up our scissors, like a lot. We'll just drop it on the floor. So we would end up cleaning our scissors. Now, I don't know if you know anything about grooming of an animal. It's quite amazing how dirty your equipment would get, let alone your brush. That's a whole different subject. Brushes only last about a month, but people keep them for years. Did you know that? They don't last. Well, they last if you don't use them. I have an air bubble here, guys. I just saw it pop. I don't like air bubbles. Air bubbles are a problem. Don't need problem children. Oh, if I didn't take this off, shoot. Again, I'm going to try to get it right on the rim. Man, this one corner likes to stick wherever I put it. Bless its heart. Better not touch my face. I'll have glitter on it for a year. Now I see this. Let's lift it up a little. Well, let's clean our scissors tomorrow. Don't forget to get sewing machine oil. You're going to need them. That's what you use to clean your scissors. Not, you're going to use soap and water first and machine oil second. I have like 4 scissors here I want to clean. Oh, come on. Simple tape shouldn't be that hard to get off. In a way, I wish I would have sparkled or spackled this whole tin like I did the first one. I'm being stingy. And then tomorrow, before we do our scissors, friends, we'll fill this up with the tree. See that one, we might need it. I'm going to cut that piece off. Look how nice that finishes it off. Just makes it really nice. And we're going to do the same thing at the top. I'm going to start at the seam. I hope. Try the other end. So much stuff on my hands that. Come on. There we go. And I'll come towards you. And this one's going just below that rim. Try not to touch the hot glue, and I have been, but we'll melt that off. And we need 2 at the top, I guess. All right, almost done. Cut. Gee, Mindy's. Don't you love it when things won't cut for you? So there she has 2 beautiful containers. Now we're gonna do that rim thing again with the hot glue. I'm sorry, not the hot glue. With my heat device. I'm gonna hope that can Mod Podge. Melt that Mod Podge. Get that to bubble to stick. Sometimes that works. And I'm just melting it on. I'm melting anything off that I don't want. Right on that rim. Ooh, it gets hot, guys. Make sure the seam seals. Any air bubbles, because you know we have that glue underneath. This is the time to seal it, because it's not dry, it's fabric dry. So I'm resealing my fabric down. And that bubble here is almost out. Looking nice. This is the bottom now. That's what all this hot glue is here, guys. Hot glue and Mod Podge. Melting it off. It's hot. Be aware. And it gives you that little extra chance. If you need to move something, just heat it up and it will slide for you once it's hot. You're gonna let it cool before I touch that. Just a bit. It's really hot. Super nice. So let's take this little, maybe it can come off now. The tin's hot. No? Oh, it left the whole sticker on it. That's right. We'll clean that. But there we go. We have two beautiful containers that she will enjoy. I haven't got my trees out. This was a last minute thought. But they're very nice. This is her original with the spackling on it. Super nice. This is spackled underneath, right to the rim of the container. So it's level. This one is only whitewashed underneath, and that's why the beads are on the inside of the rim, because the rim is right down to a whitewash is just a whitewash. It's just on the can itself. Two different ways. This is very solid. This is tippy. And that's the difference with spackling. This is solid. Very nice. Two wonderful containers. Same process, except for this one didn't get spackled. This was flower. Well, it was part of the flower garden. That's what it says in here. That's what this container is. It's the flower garden from, I think, Dollar Tree. And this was the flower garden with the stamp that they had on. And I know she didn't like that. Well, I gotta wash that off. But super cool craft, guys. Sheila, thank you for sending me your items, and I will return your napkins to you, and I will, because we used my fabric, and you'll get another gift. It's right here. And we'll put a little Christmas tree in there, a little Dollar Tree Christmas tree, where she has some fun. And then she said this was going to go for cards. I don't know. Can't wait to see hers. But that's what it looks like. This is the can. Dollar Tree can. That had the whitewash on it, and this is full spackling underneath. So, super cool, fun craft. It's very pretty, I agree. Does that fit in there? No. Of course not. I should have known that. Nothing fits. But, all right, friends, I will see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a craft, and we'll also clean our scissors. Or I'll show you how I clean my scissors. You'll need machine oil and soap and water, and that is all you will need. Do not use tin foil on your scissors. Well, you can, but just have a piece of tin foil around. Sometimes you need that little foil to rub. but you're not going to cut. That will wreck your scissors. They will only last like 10-15 days afterwards, generally. All right, so everyone have a great night. See you tomorrow, and thanks so much for coming. I'll get back to our messages in just a few minutes. All right, thanks so much, guys. Good night.